Good evening, Blood Bowl fans. Coming to you live with yet another match in the Get Medieval Blood Bowl League. I am the Tabletop General, and tonight I hope to have a treat for you. So tonight I am playing my Innocent Civilian Wood Elves against the Chaos of Atrocity Exhibition. We'll be getting started here in just a moment, but I wanted to take a quick look at the teams involved. Let's just say I've gotten kind of lucky. Plus strength on a war dancer and plus agility on another war dancer, and those stats lined up well with the skills that I had given to those players. And we've got a bucket load full of linemen that have somehow survived without injury. Newcomer to the team, we have a catcher that was just added last week, has managed 1 touchdown so far. We also managed to tack guard onto our tree man, which I'm hoping will make us a little stouter on the line and keep these linemen around for even longer. But we are starting to hit the point in our schedule where we are due for a haircut of sorts and going to shed some team value. First up on that list of more difficult opponents is the Atrocity Exhibition. I say more difficult opponents. Bashier opponents is what I mean. So this is a fairly standard, I don't really want to say meta chaos team, but he's making all the default choices, doesn't bother with the Minotaur, and he's got a well-balanced selection of skills along with a copious amount of strength ups. We've got 4 warriors, all with guard, 1 with mighty blow. We've got 2 beastmen with wrestle, 2 with tackle, one of those being the one with wrestle, a block plus strength and a block sure hands, 2 ball carriers, and swiftly evolving into a combat specialist, we have a a mighty blow claw with +2 strength. He's essentially a Minotaur without the downside. Alright, so it looks like my opponent is ready. He has shed off the extra gold that he was carrying. That gives us exactly a 1,000 a 100 TV difference, and he's got full cash, so I'm fully expecting to see some of that spent and have him pick up a wizard. We shall see if that is the case. No scumming from my side. I'm going to need the cash to replace the players that get hurt or worse. And hey, what do you know, wizard? Could go all in and get another reroll or a couple of babes here, but I don't really think he's going to need either one of those. Just the wizard is probably sufficient here. So if he really wanted to play dirty, he could get a bribe, which is exactly what he's done. All right, lovely. It should be noted that on top of running the statistics for this league, I also run a bookie service where we play with some Monopoly money of sorts. We call them GMB or Get Medieval Bucks. And one of the first instances of a non-bet related usage of the Get Medieval Bucks, a bounty was offered today on scoring at least 2 goals against my team. The reason for that is that this is, I believe, round 6 of the league, and the innocent civilians have not given up a goal since round 1. So, yeah, fully expecting to have at least one of my war dancers knocked out in this match now. Possibly both. And when I say knocked out, I don't mean taking a KO result. There's a small part of me that wants to take this as a challenge and see if I can just run up the score here, but I think that my opponent here is someone that I probably need to respect a little bit more than that with all the strength ups across the field. It's pretty hard to scamper away from a strength 6 block coming in from just one player. And wrestle and tackle means that it's not exactly going to be the easiest to just go traipsing through and say, ha ha ha, you can't touch me, I'm a war dancer or catcher or what have you. Alright, so let's get creative with our lineup here. How about it? Let's get creative. I almost want to keep the war dancers back like this, but doesn't really seem like the best recipe for success. Alright, that's about as set as we're going to get. We'll edge those war dancers up just a little bit more towards the front lines because let's do something silly. And let's park this guy here to make sure that we've got a full advantage. Alright, let's see what it does. And a blitz. Wonderful. Well, I'm glad we are at least screening off our war dancers. But that's still the worst version of a perfect defense. And that came despite the fame roll coming in my favor. Shame. Meanwhile, the ball is going all the way back into the corner, right where I don't exactly want it. Which is kind of impressive because I don't believe there's an instance of kick anywhere over here. There is not. That's just luck of the draw. Now, I guess I could look at this from a hindsight perspective and say that I'm set up like this to tempt my opponent into wasting his wizard up against my thrower in an attempt to slow down my ability to snag the ball. But I'll be honest, that's not at all what happened here. Okay, so we got away with it there as our Strength 5 Beastman bounces off the tree. And then succeeds with a dodge roll away. Not how I saw that happening. Not how I saw that at all. All right. And I think we're both sitting here wondering to ourselves, now what? I'm kind of surprised, to be honest, that we didn't bring a couple more of these Chaos Warriors in to base up and kind of lean into an advantage on these blocks, but I guess I'm okay with it. Let's start hitting some folk. That's 2. And a removal. That's starting things off on the right foot. Survey says, I'm almost afraid because this is way too much luck going in my favor. Way too much luck. All right, so let's see what we can do with this. Go, War Dancer. All right. We're going to pull him back to safety now. Let's see, where can we get to? All right, then over here, we're gonna build ourselves a little mini screen. That looks sufficient for what we're looking to do. Let's send a threat downfield just to say, hey, look at me. Pull our ultra important kicker over out of harm's way. And then put our actual scoring threat in over here. And last but not least, let's go get ourselves a ball. All right, I do not want to be in a position where a lightning bolt scatters the ball out of bounds. So we'll do one go for it. We got rerolls, why not? Get a little bit further upfield and call it quits there. So, 2 removals on the first turn. I'm happy with it, but at the same time, if my dice are that hot, what are his gonna do? We are fortunate enough that we have put ourselves in a position where one of my elves should be getting hit this turn, and the rest should be completely safe. Because nobody on their feet is based up. There's no jump up anywhere. We're good just like we are. All right, so kind of seeing a blitz coming in at Mother Teresa over here. Could be wrong, but I would say that that would probably be forthcoming after basing up a couple of elves over here, just in case something goes wrong with the blitz. That, and it never hurts to set yourself up in a position where you can punch somebody in the face next time around, even if you can't do it this time. Sorry, man, I'm a Chaos veteran. I know what this is like. You just want to hit somebody. Now, I would be really surprised if he actually took this position. Well, I don't guess too badly. All right, you know, oh boy. There it is. All right, so if law of averages holds up on wake ups, we're looking at 10 on 10 for our next drive. Wow. Um, you know, at this rate, you'd think that he was the one with armor 7. All right, so throwing block here. He's got 1 assist, so I would need 2 assists to break even. I think we're gonna do this. I don't know. All right, Tree Man has taken root. That is not what we wanted to see here. Not at all. All right, let's make some mistakes. How about it? That seems like a good mistake to make. Now what? Sure, why not? And let's go hunting the lower armor. Frenzy says, nope, you're still going down. And I'll take a stun, I guess. Slide you back to there in the just in case department. And sure, bring it on. Let's see if we can't put some pressure on early. All right, you do have tackle there. But we're going to try it anyway. Of course, the first one would fail. And there we go. Agility 5 is stupid. Okay, 2 wake-ups. Looks like we had a spare on the bench. Let's see. 1, 2. Yep, had a spare on the bench. So let's do that and that, I guess. Maybe, possibly. I don't know what we're actually doing here. I almost want to shift this over and invite him to try to scamper up the sidelines, and that is... no, I won't do that. After second thought, that could be bad. We're just going to leave it exactly like it is, except putting him up forward. Have our kicker free. Yep, all right. Let's roll. So this is sort of a strategy that I borrowed from our league commissioner, Jim, in that, yes, I've given the Chaos team 7 whole turns to come up with a equalizing score, but on the other side of things, I've now given them 15 turns to make a potentially fatal error. Not saying I think it's coming, but it could. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, nobody wants to come play with the tree? Who have you been paying attention to? Come on, perfect defense. Let's get this tree in the fight. Come on, perfect defense. Just looking at the setup, you'd almost think that the guard lineman goes on the line, but in essence, it doesn't really matter. He's gonna get out strength from a corner regardless. So might as well keep him free to stick in where he's needed later on in the drive. I know there's only 11 players over there, but for some reason it looks like there's about 20. Maybe it's them just now getting used to this camera angle, or maybe it's just the fact that I know that they all can hit about as hard as two of my players. Mm-hmm. Sure. Yay, more rerolls. So this is the guy that we got to keep an eye on. The S3-6 on the blitz block, or no, I keep saying block. Mighty blow and claw. If just one of these linemen goes down and an assist moves in, that's a 2-die block on the tree that can knock him out in a hurry. Now this is the downside to completely avoiding the tree during setup. Granted, guard still factors into it, but the receiving team still has to completely waste the turn of another player to get a 2-die block on any of the edge players here. So, well, I say any of them. The strength 4 can take that block immediately, so I feel like you'd be almost better off taking one of your Chaos Warriors and plopping them down over here for that initial block. Granted, I guess you want the tackle on the dodge guy. Maybe that's the plan. Yes, nice and conservative. Set yourself up a cage. And not following up because we don't want to play with the tree. Which means a blitz against him would only be 1 die. Gotta pick your battles. In this case, you chose not to pick. I would be surprised and elated if we just stuck in there and didn't actually throw a block. And yep, our killer runs for the cage. Don't know if that was just the easiest target available or if you were intentionally going after the kicker, but it was a good choice regardless. All right. Now let's figure out what to do. Wrestle is our friend. As are rerolls. Rerolls are our friends. But apparently Mighty Blow is not our friend. Sad. Let's actually widen that up a little bit. And now then, can our tree get in the fight this time? No, we're going to take root again. That is problematic. All right, so with nothing better in mind to do, I guess let's just bunker up and wait. For the most part. Now, part of what I'm doing here is just absolutely inviting that cage to sweep around over here. Because if you want to score fast, go right ahead. But if you keep your cage completely safe, you're also keeping a lot of guys out of the fight. And I kind of want to beat up on some beastmen and see if we can get them out of here. More importantly, I want this guy out of the fight. Keep him on defense. At the same time, if you really want to keep that cage spread out, it's tempting to go crash that party. Okay, if you're going to keep dragging my camera over there, what are you doing with this guy? Go ahead. I'll wait. All right, now we've got an effective screen in place. Well, at least more effective. I can't mark all three of these with the same player and leap in and nail the cage. But if this guy wants to move, and he does, we can at least have a shot at it. Nope, nope, nope. Good little, I don't know exactly what to call this other than blob screen, shotgun pattern, something along those lines. All right, tackle pays off for you there. And again, we try to dodge away. I am completely okay with these free armor rolls. All right. Oh, let's see what to do. There's so much guard on these warriors that it feels dangerous to base any of them up because they're just going to find a buddy, team up, and come play, which is not a recipe for success as a person on the receiving end of the incoming punches. But we're going to see what we can get out of this. Because if we can get the one with Mighty Blow off the field, that will be a net win. I'll take a stun. Stun's okay. All right, and then what are we going to do with that guy? Don't really want to engage this player, but sure. And yeah, let's do that. And voila. High movement speed means we go from, no, we don't want to have anything to do with playing defense, to, hey, we actually have a bit of a screen set up in no time flat. feel like I should have something insightful to say. It's to kill time as we're nearing the halfway point of the turn and nothing's actually happened yet. But, I'm kind of content just to relax for a little while, I gotta be honest. That being said, relaxing is a little bit easier. Insert corporate sponsorship opportunity here, as I have just set myself up with a brand new Secret Lab Titan chair, kind of a early Christmas present to myself, purchased on a Black Friday sale. I only put one part on backwards, to my knowledge. If there are more parts that are on backwards, well, I haven't discovered them yet. It's one of those things where they send you a full, huge sheet of instructions and say, hey, there's also this YouTube video that you could go watch. And that doesn't seem like it's something that you really need to do. You've got instructions, but no, you need the video because the pictures just don't really give you all the info that you need there. Anyway, relatively comfy chair. I'm happy with the purchase. So if you hear a big ka-thump here in a few minutes, it's because I've leaned back a little bit too far and fallen out of it, as I have not yet discovered the limits of this seating area. But soon enough we will. Always find the limits eventually. All right, so at this point, I'm kind of happy that we've slowed the advance down just a little bit. That's a surprise if he takes that roll, but sure. Because the cage as a whole only moved up 1 square in total. So we have an opportunity to, at that rate, keep them from scoring, but it's going to require a few blocks that I don't really want to have to throw. So let's see what we can do about that. No, no. Well, which way do we want him going? You know what? We'll decide later. We'll go this way, away from my lines. And sure, why not? We'll spin a reroll. Yeah, there's the kind of results we were hoping for. Dodge away. And set you up there. Dodge you away. I'm fine with leaving that angle. Now let's see if we can't take ourselves down a random beastman. Wrestle works. It's just, oh, I don't know. Ah, there it is. And stick this guy As much as I want to leave him forward and cut off the angle, the treatment's going to do enough of that. And now we can fully protect our thrower. All right, looks good, looks good. Sure. Now, it may be coming now or maybe next turn. I'm kind of surprised that I haven't caught a lightning bolt to the face on one of these screening linemen and then a blitz onto the war dancer behind to help the whole cage just bust straight through. Especially because that would be a prime opportunity to park the cage on the war dancer and start throwing fouls to use that bribe that was purchased in inducements, but does not look like that will be forthcoming. We're just gonna block this guy off. Now, do you dare leave this guy engaged? All right, there's the haircut starting. Blah. Well, I'm gonna miss her. Didn't need the claw or the mighty blow there, honestly. I don't know. Might have needed the mighty blow. Don't know if it was used on the armor roll. Guard, 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 guard as far as the eye can see. Hey, look, he successfully dodged. That's a thing that you can actually do. Now what? Now what? I think answer number one is just tying up this beastman and making sure that he doesn't go anywhere that we don't want him going. And then, hold on, I had a plan for this. That would be a heck of a brave play to mark these two and jump in, or I should say leap in and blitz from here. That may be our plan for next turn, but certainly not for this one. There are just so many options and they're all bad. Strength 4 everywhere, except for where there's strength 5. Alright. Let's just go ahead and commit ourselves to a bad idea. Go, bad idea. Alright. Well, let's just commit to all the bad ideas. Alright, is what it is. This is kind of the point where things have broken down a little bit. I have to just admit, I have no idea what I'm doing here. There comes a point in the game where every Wood Elf match where I'm just like, I feel like I should have more options at the moment than I do, and I don't. So now we're going to be taking a juicy blitz on Blind Bob, I'm sure. Well, I say I'm sure. Could also easily pincer him in and spend your blitz somewhere else. So I think at this point, if the Chaos Cage really advances this turn, then we might have to go cage diving on the next one. See if we can't prevent the score. If he doesn't advance, then we want to just continue with the screen tactics. Sweet. Sweet, sweet. Okay. So that might be our time to shine moment. Alright, that's not what I wanted to have happen there. Oh yeah, this guy's still here. We got something moving in our direction. Alright. Now, how do we hit the ball? Or do we even need to? Where can he get to? There. All right, at this point, he's either got to pass the ball or do a go for it if he wants to score. So theoretically, I don't need to get in there. It would be one die on one die if I did, which isn't the best of odds. Yeah, I think we just play defense as much as I wanted to do more than that. I think we just play defense. So I had this grand plan in mind that I was going to frenzy push him back towards the tree and actually get the tree involved in the fight again. And then I found out, fortuitously after I had already knocked the opponent down, that, oh yeah, you're using your agility war dancer for that. Let's just pull that guy back to safety. Throw ourselves one more block for the road. And then there's a part of me that wants to throw that foul there, but not the thing to do when you're already down players. I think we just call it there. I really wanted to take that opportunity to push for a turnover and possibly a second score in the first half, but even with the opening by the reroll working out in my favor on the chaos block on turn 6, the cage just wasn't open enough. All right, not exactly sure what the plan is here. Don't know if my opponent just lost track of the turn, or if they're just wanting to make sure that they don't take any unnecessary hits on turn 8. But that's not a scoring position. So yeah, it just looks like we might just be going full turtle here. Well, okay, a little less than full turtle. So we did get the blitz in. Okay, so he's pushing for scoring position. It looks like he may not be the only one to reach it. He's not. All right. So we've definitely got to lock this guy down. Lock him down from this side too. And do we do more than that? I think we do. Yeah, sure, why not? We'll put a agility 5 war dancer there in the position to potentially intercept the ball. Meanwhile, over here, what's our play? I think we just make sure that this beast man goes down and call it at that. But if we don't get him down, which we do, so no worries there. But if we were able to push him back, that would have been okay too. All right. Now let's run for the hills. And literally make a run for it. And it's okay. The ground doesn't have Mighty Blow. So now the worst that's going to happen, we take a foul and we move on to the second half. Now granted, we're going to be playing defense again, 11 on 9. But hey, we just did it for 7 turns. Nothing says we can't do it for 8. There is still the matter of that wizard waiting in the wings, though. The good news is, if the bribe fails, they're at least losing a player of value. That, and we kept it on somebody as useless as a lineman. All right, did not see that one coming. But no problem. No problem at all. All right. Well, we didn't escape the half unscathed, but we did escape it without any significant injury to the important players. Still, rest in peace to that Exumus. I guess that might be one of the players you'd feel the least bad about hitting out of my players. I don't know. I had so much fun with this naming scheme. Now I have to dream up something else because I was, at least up to this point, I have refused to reuse names. I might dig back in and pick back up a couple of names that I used during our development league for just no harm in reusing those. They never saw live play, but try to make you feel as guilty as possible for all the horrible injuries that are being inflicted upon my squad. Let's see. I had a couple of other ideas as to things I wanted to talk about, but they've all escaped me now that I'm actually sitting here with time to spare. So I briefly discussed that one of our team members put out a bounty against my team for scoring 2 goals against them. And with any luck, that won't be getting paid out tonight. But speaking just briefly about our betting system in general, it is something that I rather enjoy maintaining. And today we went live with a brand new system for handling the bets. Pretty much all of our communication for sorry, wasn't sure what was going on there for a moment. Anyway, so we run pretty much all of our communication for the league through a Discord server, and for kicks and giggles, I've set up a chatbot for our Discord server that I so creatively call Get Medieval Bot. And Get Medieval Bot has been extended to have some new capabilities as of today. Specifically, Get Medieval Bot will now automatically take in players' bets and will let players know what bets are available, and a couple other neat little features like that. That it's one less thing that I have to take care of, which pretty happy about that in general. Let's see. Is that what I want to do? Let's swap that around. So, the Get Medieval bot is not anywhere near as full functional as some of the other helper bots there are out there, like Spike, which is another bot that our league uses, and we mostly just grab the match reports and the stream tracking from that. I have my own stream tracking built into Get Medieval bot, but the Spike is a little bit more reliable just because there's some functionality that I was just on the edge of rolling out that I hadn't fully tested yet from the stream tracking perspective. And I'm not anywhere near the level of effort that has been put forth by all of the wonderful volunteers over in the Rebel Leagues that have put together some amazing systems to automate match creation, competition starting, all of that sort of stuff, along with the very informative league websites and all of the standings trackings and all that fun stuff. Free injury. All right, well, that'll level things up a little bit. Fame coming in handy on that roll. Anyway, nowhere near the level of work that's been put in over there, but I am happy with what I've managed on my own, not having a whole lot of experience working in Discord or with a lot of the technologies that are being used to run the program. One of the more entertaining parts of the bot is it has this funny little habit of speaking back to a few members of our league. Let's put it this way. At the end of every season for the league, I send out a survey just to kind of take the pulse of the league as to whether or not the players are happy with how we're running things, if there's anything they'd like to change, all that sort of thing. And we also do some player voted postseason honors, and every season that includes a Smack Talk award, and Get Medieval Bot is a early front runner for the Season 3 Smack Talk award. Speaking of, I need to make sure that Get Medieval Bot is feeling talkative tonight. Gonna just slide over to Discord for just a moment while I'm waiting for my opponent's turn here. Still very much watching. Would love it if that pickup roll were to fail, but no, alas, sure hands provides the free reroll there. All right, and back into familiar territory, caging up again. I am slightly surprised that we based up the Treeman here. I guess it does provide the avenue to blitz for a 2-die block there, but if this doesn't work, which it did, of course. And now you can safely move away. So, yeah, that was something. Honestly, I'm kind of hoping that I can keep these warriors occupied up here and away from the cage, because if we get that guard away, I'm not afraid to go leaping in there for a blitz. Just have to see what we can manage. Part of me wants to not engage at all, but that seems like a bad idea. All right. Well, we stood up at least. That's something. Hmm. All right, let's see if we can't down ourselves a Chaos Warrior. One less mighty blow out there. Survey says we can, but he stays in the match. Boo. I'm not really all that worried about it if somebody shoots this gap. In fact, I might even be happy about it. So, yeah, abandoned ship, abandoned ship. And let's shift that side of the defense up a bit. And over here, let's get crazy. All right, that looks crazy enough. Even though the tree is staying right where he is for a little while, we can at least keep him a part of the game by playing a little bit of ring around the rosy with him. But this did give the opportunity to do exactly what I did not want to see and get these warriors involved in protecting the ball carrier. Boo. Boo, boo, boo. Alright, gonna be risky, but I think I do see one exploitable gap here. Blitz on the thrower. Smart, smart. And this is why the thrower needs dodge. And KO'd. Boo. And tree takes over the screen. That is unfortunate. Because now we've got to start doing some desperation plays. Numbers are starting to dwindle with 6 elves on the pitch. Yeah, it's definitely desperation play time. But we can't afford the desperation play this turn. Just don't have the resources in place for it. So let's do something stupid. How about it? Come on, mighty blow. Come on, mighty blow. No. Mighty no. Block is our friend. And then we should get to the blocks that we don't want to throw at all. Really shouldn't. To heck with it. Well, it was going to happen anyway when he threw the block. And then there were 5. Well, I guess I did miss the tree and that head count a couple of times, but it's not like he's done a whole lot in this game. I think he was responsible for maybe one of those early KOs, and that was about it. Still looking for that magical opening to somewhere pop up to get a 2-die blitz on that ball carrier. Don't have it at the moment. But it could open up anytime it wanted. Do you spend the reroll there? Do you spend it for me? Cool. You're not getting him down anyway. All right, now with the sidestep, where do we go? Sure. All right. Is it time for desperation plays? It looks like it's time for desperation plays. The problem with desperation plays is that you pretty much guarantee that you're going to end up with somebody flat on their backside after it. And once you do that, you're pretty likely to end up with a heavy foul on a war dancer, which is not at all what we want. That's not going to work. All right. The heck with it. It's time to do it. All right. So far, so good. Just got to hope we survive that. And you know what? We've got a apothecary available. So we'll be okay. All right. Now it's time, I believe, to roll out a trick that I learned from one of our other coaches. Well, that didn't work. I suppose it's better to do when you have rerolls available. But really, it was a 5 out of 6 chance. And lightning bolt, lightning bolt. You. Should have known that was coming. And truthfully, it would have been okay for that to happen had that throw worked. And that's part of the reason I did it in the first place. That may not have stopped a touchdown from coming to equalize it up, but pushing back that far, I feel like did sort of delay things long enough that I don't feel like I have to worry about giving up a second touchdown. So we've almost certainly assured ourselves a tie at the very least. It might change if we're willing to make a throw out of this, but we're not. So now it kind of depends on what our luck looks like with keeping James the Irish on his feet for the rest of the turn. Because if I get the opportunity, we're throwing that same blitz again. And trying to clear that ball out. All right, so now we've got a chaos player in position to score if we get to that point. So that would make for a turn 13 score, kicking the ball to me and then coming rushing at me. There's a possibility of a blitz and picking up the second score now that I think about it, but hopefully that's not something that we actually need to be worried about here. Right? We're just going to go steal this ball somehow, right? Oh, you dirty goat. Oh, you dirty goat. Okay. It is what it is. There are very few players in the league that need to be fouled more than these guys are. I'll give you that. Now that kind of surprises me. Don't really want to do a half die block. If the first hit doesn't bring us down. Well, that's going to go poorly. All right. Okay. Roll enough dice and eventually they're going to fail. So we probably just gave up a touchdown. And yeah, I know, that was silly. Not sure what the better play was other than to maybe shift gears and blitz this guy instead to slow the Score down by a turn. But again, maybe it's not once a game. Maybe it's once a half where I just have no idea what I'm doing as a Wood Elf coach. I just want to line up and hit things. What do you mean we can't line up against the enemy? For those watching from outside of our league, we have one other Wood Elf coach in the league who has been a Wood Elf from day one, and quite an effective one. He is our Season 2 champion. And it was a joke to begin with, but I feel like it's less joke and more, the reality of how this tends to go down game after game, that he must just completely spaz out and just have an epileptic seizure every time he sees me play or hears about how I have played my games. Because I've definitely learned a few tricks from him, but it would be a stretch to say that I'm doing anything anywhere near how he would approach the same situations. Mm. Did not need that stun to work, with both ward answers down and stunned. It does not leave us a whole lot of options for what to do this turn. With that being said, I know what we are doing. We are totally taking a one die blitz right here. Really not much else to do. So hey, let's try it. And on the next episode of Most Futile Things Ever Tried, well, that's just lovely. Come on. As much as I don't want to say this, foul award answer. Bribe doesn't make it not a turnover, right? Actually, does it? I don't know. Never see them used. Come to think of it, bribe probably does prevent the turnover. So maybe don't foul award answer. At this point, I'd be quite okay just coming out of this match with no more injuries than what we already have. The good news is one of them will be able to get up this turn because you can't foul both of them. But if you foul this one, pretty sure the other one won't be able to reach wherever the ball carrier moves to this turn. So again, we're almost guaranteed that we're giving up a score here. But at the same time, every player that's committed to piling on and assisting a foul is one less player that is available to put in the cage. As is, we're down to a potential half a die block. Thanks to the guard warrior on there. Smart decisions all around. And take the level 0, or level 1, whatever, the 0 upgrade Beastman to commit the foul with, right? Oh, blitzing first, of course. How foolish of me. Suppose we do have the shot to potentially get a 1-die blitz from the opposite side over there. Well, no, it'd be half a die because the ball carrier is strength 4. All right. Let's see what kind of magic we can pull out of our hat here. All right. So that's a whole lot. When we could just do it that way. Last reroll. Well, that's not going to work out well. All right, let's see what we can do here. All right, it was worth a try. Again, there's only so much you can do with just a handful of players left on the pitch. Hopefully, we're at least leaving the opponent with some important questions to ask. Because if they score this turn, wouldn't be the first time that I've scored in 2 turns. I feel like a blitz right here would just sort of lock up a tie, though. If you can get him out of the way and then just scamper this guy over to safety, not a whole lot I can do from there. Oh, I got excited and then I saw the tackle. So do we go ahead and score? Do we? Do we? Do we? We don't. Hmm. So I'm making a run on the ball carrier. It's just a question of how effective will it be. I suppose this foul will have a lot to say about that. All right, so that resolves it. The foul does not cause a turnover if the roll is failed. Sorry, if the bribe is accepted. All right, so we can't get there with this guy. We're out of rerolls. There's no way in the world this is going to work. But it's the only shot we've got to stop the touchdown. So, YOLO. Kids still say that, right? All right. Tie game. Don't suppose there's any chance that I could call Streamer's Dice and get a turn 16 riot in. Could we? Could we? Maybe. Possibly. All right. Fast forward through. The box of sadness. The box of slightly sadness. And then the field of tears. Oh, hey, look, we've got a great and wonderful goal line defense set up. So our thrower is still out. So that complicates things a little bit. Not entirely sure what the point is of moving up closer. It's really the same difficulty regardless for me to leap over with a war dancer. Yeah, I was about to say that had to just be resetting the formation. There's no reason for him to pull all of his forces up. I think that's our play. Yeah, sure. And hoping for a riot. No riot. So instead, we throw a few blocks and have ourselves a tie ball game. Well, this is working out swimmingly. pretty much empty. Did vanity pass for a level up there, so it's something. And that's going to do it for tonight's game. So, in week 6 out of 11, our mighty Wood Elves have now given up twice the number of goals that they've given up all year, as we have now given up 2 touchdowns in 6 games. There's no way it's going to hold up. And I knew as soon as the Chaos players got the Wizard and then emptied the bank to get the bribe that this was not going to go in our favor tonight. But you know what? I'll be happy with the draw here. Surprisingly low number of blocks in the game.